Hello, everybody. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby, and I am so happy to be with you today. Today is indeed the day that the Lord has made, and we are just rejoicing in it. And so I'm so grateful that we get a chance to come together in this fashion. You know the saying, a family that prays together stays together. That's exactly what we're doing. So we have our leadership with us today, and it includes our wonderful Patty Walton. Hi, Patty. How are you doing?
I'm doing just great. How are you?
Wonderful. Do you have
Great.
a special reading for us today?
Um, yes. And our reading is, if you're on the road to nowhere, find another road.
Okay, wonderful. Very good. And where did you get that from, Patty?
Acts of faith.
Acts of Faith. Wonderful.
Correct.
Thank you. And then we have Jim with us. Jim, do you have something you'd like to share with us?
I sure do. Good morning, everyone. Mine is from Joel Goldsmith's book called Our Spiritual Resources, and the title of it is Bringing God into Daily Experience. Bringing God into individual experience is possible only through an activity of consciousness. If we make a conscious contact with our source, we make contact with the spiritual source of all those who can bless us and all those, all those whom we can bless. I in them and thou in me, that they be made perfect in one. The relationship of oneness is not totally effective, however, until the moment of contact, because the moment we are separate human beings, each with his own interest and purpose, each with their own needs, and in the separateness, we may not be fulfilling one another's needs at all. And then he goes on to say here, there must be the actual experience of being consciously one with God in order to find ourselves consciously one with all spiritual being and idea. Declaring it in the mind is not going to make it so. But if we keep that principle in our mind, sit with it, reflect upon it, and ponder it until we feel that inner response within, then we actually begin to demonstrate our oneness with all spiritual beings.
Oh, I love that. And I noticed you had a spiritual being in the background cheering you on. Wonderful. And so today we are so happy to be together, and it has been quite a week. We've had a lot going on. We had a lot of protests that are going on. We have people that are celebrating life. And you know what I want to say is that all things do work together for good. And I'm saying that in a way so that we get to remember. There is a song, if I can help somebody along the way, then my living will not be in vain. And I believe that Dr. Martin Luther King would call Mahalia Jackson up in the middle of the night and ask her to sing that song. And what I like about that song in this very moment is we know that George Floyd's life was not in vain. Regardless of what has happened, there is a blessing in this whole experience because we are all coming together. We're unifying. We're breaking our silence in dealing with some issues that have been stuffed down for years upon years upon years. We're bringing about a healing right now because everybody is coming together and we're making an agreement to break and shatter this agreement that we have made so many years ago, and we're breaking it and we're breaking chains. This is the pathway to freedom. Now, with that pathway to freedom, we get an opportunity to experience the light, and that light comes from love. So I say that we can send love into all the places we in our human experience are unable to go in. And right now, we're working on our adrenaline. And as we work on our adrenaline, we just continue to open and shatter and break down those doors, any sense of blockage. But we must keep in mind the words of Ernest Holmes, and he says each one of us is an outlet of God, and we are also an inlet of God. And being an inlet of God, it is important that we continue to dip into the water of life. And dipping into the water of life means we get to turn within again and again and again. There definitely is value in spiritual practice. So I want to remind you of that right now, because we have some days ahead of us. These days that are ahead of us, we have a charge. We've been called to create and develop a foundation for a new world, a new way of being. And that new way of being requires that attention that we give to that inner presence. It's important for us to court the inner presence. So what I'd like to do is talk about how we get to cope with the day-to-day living, because there's so many stressors. We have not forgotten about the coronavirus, and it is important for us to be mindful as we move forward. And not only must we be mindful in that way, we also must be mindful of our attitudes and our actions, because our attitude, our actions, our emotions, they impact our entire being, our physical being, our mental being. It impacts the entire world. So today, what I'd like for us to do is to have a conversation about heart-focused breathing. We've been asked to breathe and take a breath for George Floyd and so many other people that have lost their lives in a senseless manner. And as we're taking the breath, remember that if we can breathe with heart-focused energy, we will find that we're going to become more resilient. We're going to be able to think more clearly, and we're also going to be able to make wiser decisions. We'll also be able to influence those around us. So let's talk about that heart-focused breathing. What is it? It is exactly as it implies, okay? It is something that comes through the HeartMath Institute, and there is the emphasis on the heart. And what research has shown is that with heart-focused breathing, we're able to direct the intention of the heart and the breathing by breathing deeply in a normal state, and we can bring about this thing called coherency. Coherence opens us up to be in balance, both mentally and through the heart with the body. It also creates coherence for us in terms of our emotions. This allows us to speak, to act, and to think more clearly. It brings harmony to our lives. So I'm going to invite you to continue to do your work, but remember the value of spiritual practice. So with that in mind right now, I'm going to invite you to just turn in with me, and we're going to have a heart-focused breathing experience right now. So what I'm going to invite you to do is to begin to breathe. And I want you to start to breathe intentionally. I want you to slow your breathing down. And let's breathe in on the count of 8 today. And exhale on the count of 8. I want you to focus your breathing on your heart and just feel the flow of the movement of that energy. Just breathe. And now, if you will just take a moment, recall a moment when you experienced kindness, Maybe you've experienced care, or maybe perhaps it was compassion. Or gratitude. Just breathe. And as you're breathing right now, I want you to just allow that energy to just bring balance and harmony into your life. Just breathe. And with your eyes open, if you feel comfortable, or with your eyes closed. Sometimes we're in situations where it may be difficult for us to close our eyes because we must be in the moment. But if we could just practice the power of the breath, slowing the breath down, breathing in and focusing that energy around the heart, we can begin to mend the heart. We can create a place for spontaneous healing. Here we go. Just breathe. And what I want you to know is that you can come back to this experience again and again. And with that in mind right now, I'm going to invite you to take a moment and pause to hear this song by Karen Drucker. Just breathe.
I let love, I let go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. To push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know. Breathe.
so we're so grateful for this opportunity to simply hear this wonderful song. And it is in this space right here, right now. I'm just acknowledging the beauty of life. I'm acknowledging that love of life. And what I know about that love of life is it's fully present right where each one of us is. That the presence of love has gone before and prepared the way, creating peace, creating harmony, sustaining itself, and revealing its truth. And I'm so grateful right now because I know that these words I speak are the words where the divine expands and creates and recreates of itself. So I know that we're all uplifted and we are blessed, and together we say, and so it is. Amen.
So it is. Amen.
Yeah. Just gently bring yourselves back. That was good, wasn't it? I just want to invite you guys this week to be present with everything that's unfolding here in the ministry. Tomorrow we have an event. We have our Peace Prayer Circle with Reverend Dr. Victoria. If you go to Seed FM, it'll give you the information, and you can join her at 12 noon. We also have our noontime meditation practices. Wednesday, I'm offering noontime meditation, and on Thursday, Jim is offering noontime meditation, sound healing. And if you have not experienced it, you're in for a treat. Larry's going to be back with you in a couple of weeks with his new book. And I think that you're going to be impressed with the opening class because we have a surprise for you. And it will be interactive. I'm so happy that you are with us today. Remember the power of the breath, and please continue to practice heart-focused breathing throughout the day. You can do this in less than 3 minutes, and it can anchor you. Remember, you're building a foundation. Have a blessed week. Namaste.